that's a triple play. New episodes, I couldn't wait. Yeah, open your mind at the first gate. Press play, no need to debate. AoA, check me out. Look, clocked in, you can catch the hype. Golden Dawn, how we follow the light. Anime like life, married to it, my wife.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages? Welcome back to the AoA Show. I am your host, as always, Ian, along with my boys, Isaiah.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Gavin.
What is up?
And today we are very excited to talk about the God of High School, episode 8. This one's called Close/Friend. I would say right off the bat that there are definitely a lot of I liked this one coming off the heels of the other one. I know for anyone that was, watched this last week, we had a couple critiques of it. And I would say this one has definitely brought it back in terms of, I think that the pacing was done right. Okay. And stuff like that. So I'm really excited to get into the episode as a whole. But real quick, I did want to make a quick announcement. And I'll probably be making this announcement a couple times over the week just so everyone knows what's going on.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know already, we made a post on our community, post thing for YouTube. Basically, we have received a second copyright strike at the moment for one of our Sword Art Online reaction videos. Apparently, those things are a bitch to navigate without getting a copyright. And we thought it was a fluke the first time, but turns out it wasn't. And now here we are. Okay. We can't really fuck around with that because if we get 3, our channel gets blacklisted, and we have put in way too much work.
Deleted,
blood, sweat,
not blacklisted.
Yeah, deleted, like terminated.
A fluke will turn into a stroke, and us 3 will die.
And we have put in way too much blood, sweat, and tears, and I really mean that when I say it, into this work to have it, be terminated over something so silly. So as much as we want to get those reaction videos out there, unfortunately, we just can't afford to take the risk right now for that. So until the copyright strikes get lifted, whether that be sooner or later, we've reached out to necessary parties, but I mean, we'll see with that. I'm not counting on it. And the first strike gets lifted late October. The second one gets lifted late November. So we're going to post everything as normal. But obviously one of those things that gets hit are the God of High School live reactions.
Correct.
Live reaction videos, unfortunately. And it sucks because we have a lot of fun doing these. Now, that doesn't mean that we are nixing them entirely at all. We actually just got done recording our reaction to episode 8 right now before we jumped into this, and we will continue to record those for the rest of the season. But we're just going to be waiting to release those until we deem it safe to do so.
Correct.
So for those of you that hung in there and wanted to see our genuine reaction to the rest of the season, you'll be able to have the chance to do so with that. You just got to bear with us for a little bit right now.
Yeah.
So thank you for your patience on that. And,
And we have heard some of your guys' suggestions as far as like maybe putting stuff on a second channel or making like a Google Drive like link to send people to watch them. We're talking about some sort of way to, right now in that sort of gap time, give that to you guys.
Yeah, we're going to see what we could do with that. But regardless, when these things get lifted, it'll be here for you guys to view. So again, thank you for everyone for hanging out with us and being patient in this weird time. We're, learning YouTube as we go because it's literally been from the ground up. It's been 0 to where we are right now, and this is all been, we didn't have YouTube channels before this or whatever. We weren't we kind of just jumped into this, and we've just been learning it together as we go. So, we've learned lessons along the way, and it's definitely been an uphill battle since the start. But, we've dealt with plenty already. This is nothing that's going to crush us. So we're just going to come back. But anyway, that's the spiel for anyone who knows. And I apologize in advance if I say that again, because I'm assuming I probably will on a TOG one, being that those are generally our most watched videos.
Well, that's the other thing. TOG is not being affected by this live streams, because I know on the community post, that's like a lot of people were worried about that.
Yeah, good point.
And I don't know if we ever responded to them.
No, not yet. We've been super busy today, but I did want to respond in the comments. So
Correct.
if they don't see them there, we'll respond here. And as far as I know, and you guys were reassuring me that it is not copyrighted. So as long as
this episode will be going out today.
Yeah.
There will be a TOG stream tomorrow.
Correct.
Tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. EST, same time. That's not...
Which we'll have announcements for on that one too.
Yes.
But anyway, that's for another video. Anyway, we'll shut up and get into the episode now, but I just want to make sure that everyone was on the same page with that. Thank you. So anyway, jumping into the episode, right? We should jump into the episode here. So we fire off the episode with Mugen and one of the six, the old guy with the old grandpa with the glasses, who's a giant, by the way. I said that the first time we saw him, but we saw him next to someone this time, and I'm like, the fucking size on this dude, it's insane. So we're, witnessing the reconstruction with like herbs that they're doing on the one guy who got virtually eaten by a shark, but they're like, just bandage him up and throw some spice on him and he should be all good.
I mean, apparently you could do a pressure point and any broken bone you have is fixed, so it doesn't surprise me.
You know what I mean? Whatever, we're past it. So they're talking real quick, and obviously the gentleman who got eaten by the shark, his grandfather, one of the six, his name evades me at the moment. It's like, Mugen, probably a bad idea to let that guy who gobbles people up with the jaws fucking thing, show up to your tournament, because he's really just going to put a damper on this whole thing. And Mugen, just being like the completely mysterious and weirdly ambiguous character that he is like, but he could be the key, and you're just like, how? But it's like, is Maury the key? Is this guy the key?
I feel like that's kind of an excuse at this point to just fuck with people.
Yeah, I don't know what.
It's like, little do you know, the real protagonist in this story, it's Maury. So he's going to be irrelevant. Like,
it's all for the Tiger Cub. And it's like, who's the Tiger Cub, Park? Who is it? Because we're putting a lot of motherfuckers' lives on the line here for the so-called Tiger Cub, and I haven't heard a name. I don't think you know who it is.
What if it's all for nothing? He's just like, I just need him to be badass so like we can like have fun together, like go out clubbing and like something stupid like
I'm just saying, he's accused Maury of it. He's accused Dawi of it. I just think anybody who can like hold their own in a fight, he's like, oh, that might be. It's like, dude, I need you to like use a little bit more intuition than that.
Yeah, right.
And I have to say, though, it is hilarious because the more we see, and we'll get into this later when we see him with Q, but I have to say, every episode that goes forward with this guy, I can't help but like this character more and more personally because of how mysterious he is.
He's a wild card.
He's just such a wild card. Yeah. Because at first we're like, he's straight up the bad guy. And like, he could very well still be straight up the bad guy.
Still feels like straight up the bad guy to me.
Fair, right? Like, he feels it. But at the same time, now we have this like cult. And now, he's getting into, we need to make sure that we're like assembling the weapon to destroy God instead of letting it into their hands. And it's like, to me, it seems, again, I get the vibe that he's not, as most people are, he's not fully good or fully bad, but that's what makes him really interesting.
Like, he's willing to do the things that other people aren't in like return to get what is desired.
He's like the Orochimaru to the Madara. He's not super, like he's fucked up and he's bad, but like, there's a little bit of something there.
There's like play in there.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with him. But anyway, then we get into some of the fights to eliminate some of the fodder, really, is what I'm just going to chalk it up to now. And the whole time we have the Park and what I say, Ilpayo.
Yeah.
I looked up how to pronounce that. So
he looked it up, repeated it to himself multiple times.
I repeated it to myself. So if that's not it, you know what? I don't know what to tell you. That's
Lil
what
Pie, yo.
Yeah, we're calling him Ilpayo, but
Ilpai.
Yeah,
I already fucked it up.
I said Ilpayo. Anyway, so Ilpayo is giving advice to to the people within the ring. Which at first I was like, is he even part of the same team? I think it was all part of it. Yeah. So his teammates, he's giving them advice. He's like, do this and then do that, blah blah, and they go in, and then obviously because they listen to his advice, they're able to dismantle their opponents literally in one hit for the most part,
in a
right?
Single blow.
Yeah, in a single blow. It was really cool to see the chick on his team who's just like absolutely jacked. First of all, that chick I want to see fight more. She just straight up like chin kicks that one dude.
It was hot.
Yeah.
No doubt. No other way to describe that fight.
I mean, and I had to make a comment real quick, right? Because we pan over to Dawi, who says basically, "Hey, I was suspended." We go back into that real quick. We have a quick flashback because he jumped in the ring with the Jaws guy, and we also have Mira like, I've been extensively studying these people, and it just cracked me up because it came off the rip of like 2 hits. You know what I mean? And it's like, Mira, how much studying could you really have gotten in on these people within that time frame?
Yeah, she's like,
know.
Oh, hi, what's your name? Oh, yeah.
I don't know how like time works in this, because it's like she could be talking from the perspective of like like multiple. the length of the tournament, right, or the length of the round,
of course.
Which like I guess logistically must have taken X amount of minutes, but it's like to us that was like a second.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's just like, funny. Yeah, exactly. The way they have to translate it, because obviously we're not stupid. We know that when she says that I'm assuming in the manhwa, I would hope, and just have the things unfold in the course of events and timing. Like she's had some ample time to study these people and like their techniques,
right?
Which it's like fair enough. That's but the funny thing is like as a viewer who hasn't read the manhwa, it's like you just see like one kick and it's like that's their whole style, and it's like how
it's like the Dragon Ball Z clock conundrum where it's like it's been 5 minutes. It's like it's been 80. It's been 80 whole minutes. Do not tell me it's been 5.
It was just funny. It gave me a chuckle when I saw that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But anyway, and then we also realized that Mori, for like virtually the first time in the series, is like visibly down. You know, like he's a little bit depressed, as it were. When they're looking at him, they're like, what's up with you? And that was interesting for his character because we never see that, right? That's not something that's the norm with this character. He's usually happy-go-lucky, a little naive, you know, all that kind of stuff. So this was definitely a change, and we're like, okay, so why? Like, what's going on with you? So then we go over and we had Ilpayo versing the guy just in the drip. I mean, like
the guy.
It's the guy. We're never gonna see him again, so it doesn't matter.
Trench coat man.
Trench coat man.
Tonguey tongue. That's, he had his fucking That's what it is.
Tonguey
tongue. Anyway, so Tonguey tongue is fighting him. That's what I'm calling him from now on. And so we kind of get to see Ilpayo and his style kind of, you know, rise up a little bit, and we get a little bit of a like insider look on like what's your thing.
Slapbox.
Yeah. And his was interesting because, again, name evades me at the current moment. I forgot exactly what his Tekion or something like that it's called.
Yeah, something weird.
Tekion. If somebody wants to pronounce that phonetically, I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, I have never seen or heard of this fighting style in my life, so I'm like, now I want to look this up because it essentially seemed like he was just slapping the guy to death. You know what I mean? Like in some weird way,
I guess,
right?
you know, it's got like a traditional, as far as like the stance and stuff, the way it looked, but it's like everything's very like open hand.
Yeah.
Like,
And it seemed like very fluid.
Involved.
Like it's like
and
a
his whole
constant,
body just kind of spins around.
like a constant stream of attacks, and then it almost seemed like there were like sweeps and stuff incorporated in like throws. So it was a very interesting fighting style.
I'm already master of it, dude. You just fucking go like, whoa! As I break something, dude. We're fine. What do you mean?
Gavin's like, you ever see me kill a spider? I'm like,
Bro, cockroach? Just saying. All right, man. That's all you got to do.
You know, so we get into that fight, and you know, it was really cool to see that style because it was something that just totally took me by surprise, and obviously his opponent as well. For a second,
I'm also not sure if it's real, and that to me like is interesting because when we started watching the show, I thought the route they were gonna go was like, oh, this show is at least the fighting styles are based in the real world and are pulling real inspiration, but that they were going to like invent, you know, later down the line, characters were going to invent their own fighting styles based off of like ones that already existed. Oh. And I was like, oh, that would be like a cool. And so this is again, it could totally be real. And I'm just talking about
I think it's a real one.
But okay, fair enough. But I thought this show might go that route, which to me personally would have been interesting because it's like, you know what I mean? Being able to apply, you know, different little tips and tricks from different fighting styles to like make this new unique one.
Interesting fighting style nonetheless though, and obviously uses it to dismantle his opponent pretty quickly at that rate because you know when the guy's pushed to the limit and he's like, fuck this, and he uses a chariot thing, it's like, okay, you're done because you know you weren't destined to win this.
Plus we didn't even know his name. So
yeah, exactly. So Ilpayo like dodges those with ease and then comes up behind him and just like mollywops him. So he's out for the count. And then we get a quick flash to Mugen kind of explaining a little bit more the chariot to Dawi. Because him and Mira and gang are on the way home, and you know they have these like nighttime conversations on their walk home.
Walking home from school,
and
just kidding. There's no school.
No, there's no school. And Mugen again gives us this like explanation, but like still incredibly vague. Like I feel like we've talked about it a couple times, but it's like I still don't know what the fuck is happening.
Some people get it, some people don't. It doesn't matter how hard you train. You just gotta get lucky.
I want a table set up. I want him at one end, me in the other end, and a textbook. And I want to just go through with him exactly what the fuck is going on.
Like I gotta know because like people in the comments sometimes are like, "Let me break it down for you. The power is borrowed," and I'm like, "Got it," and they're like, it's borrowed. You know what I mean? Like, that's really it. And some people could use it and some people can't.
They're like, this is a borrowed power. Period. And they're like, that is actually the same amount of information that Park himself gave us.
End of PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, it's just like, that's the end of my TED Talk. Yeah. So I'm like, what the fuck? And, you know, in the show, it's like, I keep up whenever they reference that painting and they're looking, I'm like, all right, here it is. He's going to explain. And he's like, some people train, some people don't. You either get it, you don't. And then it just goes on, fuck.
You want a soda? It's like, no, I want exposition, man. I want to know what the fuck is going on in this world.
Yeah, anyway, it was funny. So Dowie is like really feeling the whole like, I think we need to like get on that level because like this is like God we're talking about. And Maury's like, fuck that noise. I don't want to borrow someone's power. Have you seen me? Have you seen my grandpa? We're fucking jacked. I don't need any of that shit. And it's like, well, Maury, the rest of us are human, and maybe we'd like to get to that level. You know?
Also, I may or may not have seen spoilers that indicate that you're going to get a power up of some kind in the near future.
Exactly, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Because it's admirable. I have to like him saying that is admirable that he really thinks it, right? Because it's like, he's willing. He
that
doesn't
noble.
want.
He's that like honorable.
But as we know, anime goes, and just in general, right? Like, there's a certain point where it's like you reach the absolute pinnacle of where you can go with the tools that you are given, right?
Sure,
and we could translate that to real life, or we could translate that to anime, right? Like, it's no question that, bodybuilders now at like the elite level are all taking steroids, right? Like you'd be an idiot to think otherwise. You could just look up any documentary on it, right? So like if you're a bodybuilder nowadays and you're trying to get to that level, like there's only so far that you can go, and a bit like depending on your genetics and other, external factors, like you might be able to get pretty close or maybe even match it. But like, there's no denying that like taking said steroids, you know what I mean, when you're at that level is going to elevate you to that next step. And like in anime, it's like, okay, in this situation in particular, it's like, Maury, you're going to literally have to take this power up at some point in order to be able to even be on.
You can't kill a giant fire dragon with triple kicks.
You just can't. You just can't. You know what I mean? So it's admirable that you want to do that, but like you're going to get there whether you like it or not at some rate. So,
I guess then at the end of the day, just when in out, do drugs. They will get you to where you want to be in life. Yeah. Like Ian said it, not me. Spark knows. No, I'm just fucking, don't please.
Do not do that.
I literally, as you're like, yeah, they just steroids to get, like they have to get to that level. In my mind, I'm like, so if you just do every drug at the same time,
it's so funny because Ian's the kind of guy who doesn't watch what he says, and Gavin's the kind of guy who's so impressionable. Like Gavin's the example.
He doesn't watch what I say. I knew exactly what I said.
Then you knew exactly what it was going to turn into.
In a different light, what you just said sounds like an advertisement for steroids. That's all I'm saying. And Gavin is the kind of fool that would believe you and be like, I gotta start taking steroids now. And now we've all gone off the rails.
If you're trying to win the Olympia, then yes.
Whoa, wait, where do you buy these steroids? This all turns into like a black market steroid selling fucking channel, dude. It's all cover up.
We're switching from anime. We're pumping out steroids now.
Oh my god. I was just fucking with you.
Don't do drugs. Drugs banned. Okay. So anyway, have you watched South Park before? No.
Oh, you said bad. Oh, okay. I was trying. I thought. Never mind.
Let me just shut up. Let me talk about the anime, please, for a second.
All right, steroids.
I'm mad. I'm getting roid rage here.
All right. So the anime that we're talking about.
So yes, the anime that we're talking about. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So Maury's on his walk home. Noble thing he's got going on. Blah, blah, blah. He's kind of doing his own thing. That's when he's met by Elpaio, and Elpaio basically tells him what's up. He gets into like a minor scuffle with him. There was a really funny scene where Maury's foot is like on his head, even though his fist was and it's like, how'd you get your foot like that? That was hilarious. But then he's basically explaining that the reason I have this tiger on my back, which Maury took notice to, is his grandfather's military symbol or something. He's like, it's out of respect for your grandfather. And he essentially tells him the story of that when, he was young, his parents died, or rather his grandfather's been out of the picture. His father died and his mother left. Correct. So now he's with his like great uncle or like some crazy shit like that.
I think it was that was his grandpa that he was with.
No. He said because
the mother said it was his uncle.
Yeah. Really? And Maury's grandfather said that he died saving the world. So
all right, whatever.
whatever. So anyway, so he's there and he gets thrust into this lifestyle of fighting, right? Where just like, to be fair, he may have been, but he's really in it now. So he's kind of not having a great time. And all of a sudden, Maury's granddad shows up.
Out of literally nowhere, seemingly.
Yeah, Taijin just shows up.
And Gavin had a big
No, it's really fucked up because the uncle literally said, remember when he kicked the log and he's like, wow, you're weaker than like your grandfather or something like that. And it just like kind of reiterated because his grandfather's dead, like how much of a fucking slap in the face that was for that kid, dude. Like, oh yeah, you're weak just like your grandfather. He's like, bro, he died. Like give him a fucking second, dude.
Yeah, dude, his uncle's not
like
a very
versus
nice
dad,
guy.
His grandfather, like stop throwing salt in the wound.
Yeah,
all right,
for real.
Continue.
No, anyway, so then Taijin shows up out of seemingly nowhere, just strapped with a baby on board, which was hilarious.
Well, Maury.
Maury. No, that's what I meant. Yeah, I know it was Maury, but it was just funny. He's just got Maury in like a kangaroo pouch on him, you know, and he goes up and he's like, hey, you know, I forgot to deliver this book to your father. Your grandfather made it. And that fighting style that I mentioned before, he went through all of the different techniques that he had learned throughout life and put them in here. So if you really want to master it, like this is the book to go by. Pretty much. And I'm giving you this gift. And he's like, make sure you get strong, you grow up fast, because your grandfather was a pretty kick-ass dude. And, you know, I was friends with him. It'd be really cool to see you be that kick-ass dude as well, you know? And it was really, I have to say, Taijin, like, really hit me in the feels a lot in this episode, especially at the end, too, which we'll get into Maury. But from there, he explains that story and, you know, how he now wants to see that Maury's at that level. So, you know, and then he saves Maury because dickhead with the fucking shark for his stand comes out of nowhere like a douche.
Is it Jagel?
Jagel or something like that?
Tark or Tarek or something? Star Trek? I don't know.
Hagel? No, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm just calling him Jaws. So Jaws comes out of nowhere, okay, and fucking just blasts the spike at the back of Maury's head, because that's what you just do when people are having a conversation, apparently. And, you know, Elpayo just blocks it like a savage and breaks it. And he's like, this isn't, like, he's not part of this. And you're like, what do you mean? And we have a quick flashback of Elpayo seemingly like beating the shit out of Jaws.
Clearly
for
they
whatever
got
reason.
some sort of beef.
They got something. And so Jaws here is just like fucking with anyone who just comes within a 10-foot radius of
which is crazy because in a weird way, it's like, you know, you have like people like Maury and Dawi, right, who are like friends, and it's like they're rivals, you know what I mean? They've got this like cool little like relationship going, but it's like, and they're kind of like, I guess if you want to call it like a risk in the tournament, right? For the sake that like at any moment one of them could use like their moral high ground, so to speak, to just like interrupt the tournament, like they've both done at this point. And like, you know, to the people running this tournament, it's like, fuck, these dudes just keep jumping in the fucking tournament and it's not their turn. We tell them they're gonna get suspended and they don't give a fuck. But it's like, then you have like actual psychopaths. Like this dude has killed 2 people, just walks up to this Elpayo just because he's talking to somebody and decides to just shank Maury in the back of the head. Like he's actually crazy. There's like no sign that this dude even cares about what he's doing, who he's killing, or what. I think he's just crazy. And I'm like, it reminds me at the beginning of the episode when they're like, Park, I really don't feel like it's a good thing to have this dude in the tournament. Like he's eating people. He's killing people. Park's like, no, it's fine. It's like, no, Park, this isn't like a Maury broke the rules. He stepped out of bounds. He's eating people with a giant shark, like seemingly because he feels like it. Like this nigga's crazy.
I mean, accurate.
I don't understand.
Sounds like fun though. It's like that shark from fucking Grand Theft Auto. Or no, Saints Row the Third. Have you ever played it?
No.
You like shoot it and shoots chum on the ground and a huge shark fucking comes up and eats whatever's there.
That's great.
That'd be amazing. That sounds amazing.
Anyway, so then we move on, and Q has had it up to fucking here that he keeps on getting charged for all these things, even though he was attacked in his own home or wherever he was at.
His own home.
And he basically goes to the boss and he says, I'm not paying, I demand a raise. And Mugen, who's just, you know, cool character, but the worst boss ever, just is like, that's cute. I'm just going to crucify you against this window now and just blast him into a wall.
Well, no, he was pissed because of he thought that Mugen let the announcer's wife and child die.
Yeah.
And Mugen was like, hold up, bitch, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. First off, second off, you don't even know the story, which is kind of bullshit how they didn't actually die in the end. Like you find out and literally
Gavin's like, everyone needs to die.
Well, no, because then you just find out and then it's like, oh, by the way, like we knew that he was gonna get killed and that they were gonna go after his family, so we just happened to have dummies. And it's like, then why didn't you just help the fucking announcer instead? Like, why did you go through all this backdoor shit if you knew that was gonna happen as like a contingency plan?
I just found
when you didn't just have somebody there as backup. Like
I just found it funny that they all knew this and didn't tell Q. Which, okay, to be fair, if they were going with this ruse, like the more it's easier to sell it if not everybody knows the plan, right?
Fair.
That's a fair
Plus,
tactic.
they might think he's a traitor.
Sure,
as well, yeah,
that's like fair tactic, but it's like I just love the way the scene is set up where everybody knew, and all that chick had to do was like pull Q back a sec before he barged in the room and like, yo, dog, real quick before you go off on him, like you should probably know this, and none of that would have happened.
Exactly. Or just anything. I don't know. It's weird. I'm sure they're gonna give us something on why that
instead
happened.
he accused his boss of murder and just got fucking mollywopped.
And Park, to be fair, who has probably murdered niggas, like a lot of people, was like, you're not blaming me for this one. No, this shit didn't happen.
He was just like, whoa. I have killed plenty of people, kids included, but you will not say that I killed the wife and child of one of my trusted employees.
You come correct before you accuse me of the people I murdered.
And not only that, I knew your building was going to get blown up, and you're going to pay for it, you motherfucker. And he's just like, bro.
9 months without pay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Seems like a logical thing to do. He's not going to be homeless or anything within a fucking week.
Scraping pennies on these
Yeah,
vending
literally.
machines.
He's like
come on.
scraping pennies, right? He's got to get fed free meals from Dowie now. And it's like, dude, how the mighty have fallen. It's like, or you could just quit. You know what I mean? Like go to another job at this point.
Those benefits aren't worth it.
No, not at
benefits.
all. Oh man, that was crazy. That was funny though. So there's
was.
this montage, and that's when he gets explained by the blue-haired chick, which, by the way, deserves way more screen time. I'm just throwing it out there. But anyway, so then Dowie feeds him at his 5th job. You know, he's just like, oh, I was here at my 5th job, and I see you're scraping for food. So let me just make you one on the house because that's fine. So he just does that. So then we go. This was cool. We go to Mugen and the commissioners. And Mugen is essentially explaining that he's like, listen, the cult's on the move, Nox is on the move. And he's like, we think they probably captured Granddad, and, that's not good. And, it's panning back and forth now between the cult and between Mugen and gang.
Right.
And the cult is basically like, we're going to get the key for God or whatever, like to awaken God, because these people want to use the key to destroy it. To destroy God, we want to use the key to awaken God. They have, but regardless, the key seems to be Maury in some way, shape, or form, right? So it's going back and forth, and so they want him for very different reasons, to use him as a tool, essentially, from their own ends. Also, Mugen is like, yo, you can take your limiters off. That's interesting, because I didn't know that they had to fight with limiters against people that were trying to kill them in real life. I don't know if
So I'm assuming, in my headcanon here, I'm assuming that Park is using the God of High School tournament as a way to definitively weed out whoever this Tiger Cub or Key or whatever the fuck you want to call it is. And that's what his big deal here was, is he's like, these dudes could literally come rolling through this door like mid-tournament. You know what I mean? So he's like, we got to like act now. Like, you know what I mean? And and he points out that there's probably a traitor amongst them, which is like, of course there is.
Yeah, which is, because he's like, you could go all out on them and the traitor, and he just looks at all of them. They're all like, it's not me, I'm the traitor. It wouldn't even surprise me if Mugen was one of those guys to be like, since I don't know who it is, I have to kill all of you. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm actually surprised he didn't go with that route, to be honest, knowing his character.
Actually, he kind of seems like the motherfucker that would make them kill each other, Yeah. All right, only one of you gets to walk out of here alive, and it's like,
and then the one winner is the traitor, and he's like, I knew it all along. And it's like, did you have to lose all your staff for this?
Then Park would be the traitor, and he's like, yeah, it was actually none of you. It was me. And then kill that dude.
No,
and it's like,
I put money that
plot twist.
He's got fucking horns. There's no way he's not the traitor. I'm just saying.
Yeah, what's up with that like whack ass horn wannabe hairstyle you got going on? You got like little nubs.
I wouldn't say that to him. He'll fucking put you into a pretzel.
Oh no! I'm gonna write it on Facebook like a normal person about him. I'm not gonna say it to his face. I'm not an idiot.
We established that people tried to talk shit online, and he flattened their island. So you got to be careful with that one too. We could find
That's true.
you. Anyway.
I'll use a VPN. They'll never find me.
They'll never find me.
This video is sponsored by NordVPN.
Flattened across the country, multiple hand marks across the country, as one person just relentlessly talks shit on Park Mugen through Facebook. So then after that we get into kind of the last little bit of the episode here, without hemming on too much of the stuff, minor things in between. But we get to Maury and why he's so upset right now. So he's training his motherfucking ass off, and you're like, okay, he's really going all out now. Like, what's the deal? Why are you so depressed? And essentially we get this exposition with his grandfather. And it was really sad. I have to say, I'm not going to lie, it hit me. First of all, I'm loving Taijin. He's really got those like Jiraiya vibes, like you were saying, like for real. He's just like, how can you not like that guy, right? And it's really sad because he has to essentially let Maury go on his own, right? And, they kind of go through their things, and you see how that picture came to be on his wall, which was like super sad because he's like, I got to go because these bad guys are going to hit you. Maury's like, I actually just turned 6 today, so I think I got your back here.
Let me at him.
Taijin's like, give it like 10 more years.
Well, one of those motherfuckers can flatten the earth, so I'm going to leave you here.
Yeah. So he's like, and then, it's funny though, because Taijin, like all of his, niceties still like, I feel like just could have explained that better. And he's like, nah, like, it's cool. Like, you'll just make friends. You know what I mean? And it's like not too reassuring, Gramps. But, he's like, just do the best you can. Like, make friends. Like, you got to do it. I have to leave. It's hard to explain this to you. You're fucking 6. By the way, sorry, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. And he's like, all right, kid, fine. He's like, you want a present?
Would you like a gift? Yeah. Would you like a gift on your birthday?
Yeah. And it was just so cute. Hey, you're right. That feels more. He's like,
sad.
yeah, I'll have a gift. And you're like, what is it? And he gets the picture there. They get the guy. You're like, oh. And he's
so we get to Maury is upset because it's his birthday.
Yeah.
And he's got, not no friends, but nobody knows that it's his birthday. And that's the day that his granddad left.
Yeah.
So it's like that whole traumatic cycle.
At least you didn't think anyone knew it was birthday until
Facebook notifications come in clutch. Woo!
Figure out that everyone's watch notifies them of people's birthdays. Because fuck it. We need to add that
those
feature.
watch things, man, are getting like dangerously close to like fucking, just plot devices for me where it's like, how did they get here in time? And it's like, well, actually this gives me exact GPS location. And it's like, I don't believe you. I just don't. I'm sorry.
Right? And it seems even shittier almost because it's like, oh, they didn't ask when his birthday was. It's like, our watch notified us. Lucky for you. But anyway, so they come in and, it signifies that it's like you do have friends and you do have people to get you, past these tough times and to help you grow. And so they come over like true homies and they, cooked him this whole dinner. Dowie insults Mira's cooking, who seems to just turn a blind, eye and a deaf ear to him because she's like, I don't care. I'm eating right now. And Dowie's like, do you never learn?
I've worked 5 jobs every day and every night. This is how you cook. Mira's like, yeah, all right, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. And so that, they have the cake, everything, and it's like this great time. They're playing Hit Your Friend Over the Head with a Medicine Ball. Great classic game. Classic game. And then, they're talking about, it's like, we're all going to get stronger and I'm not going to lose to you next time and let's win this next tournament. And by the way, we both have to win out because Dowie's a prick and got suspended. But anyway, and then so at the very end of the episode, we get Maury, who's the next morning steps outside and receives a letter. Yeah. And essentially the letter is assumedly from the cult. And they're basically like, hey, here's your grandfather with one arm and chains all around him. And here's a map to get to us. We'll see you.
This is a hostage situation.
Yeah. We'll see you soon. So Maury's like, oh shit. So now we're going to see how he's going to juggle trying to save his grandfather with participating in this tournament at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a thing where like Maury's going to not want to because obviously it's his granddad who's fucking missing an arm. He's like, nah, fuck the tournament, I'm going to go. And then Park's going to be like, fuck that, you are. Get your ass back here. I'll go find your granddad. Like, I need to make sure you use a tiger cub or whatever the fuck I need.
Well, I mean, now you know because it's solidified that Maury has a more significant role because this is more or less them trying to lure Maury to them. Yeah. If his grandfather was the solution, they already have it. So there is significance with them being like,
that's true. Unless they're like, unless they believe that the granddad is the key and they're just sort of trying to tie up loose ends with Maury. They're like, look, he's related to him, like on the off chance that he's got some, some shit going on. Like they might not believe that Maury's like the key, but they're like, he's too close to the granddad to take chances.
Yeah, but why not just ice him at his house?
I think they do think that he is the key because when they were having that pan back and forth between Mugen and him, and he's like, we have to obtain the key. You know what I'm saying? He's like, we're going to get the key, and then it was flashing to Maury, to Park, to that. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was
what the editing wanted you to think.
Fair enough. You had me fooled. You got me. If that's the case. But I'm
it could be
anything.
Or nothing.
Or nothing. Yeah. Oh, it's irrelevant.
The show ends next episode.
Gets to the back, Maury's dead, and they're like, all right, our new protagonist is
it's actually Dowie.
Yeah.
Or Mira, who, by the way, cracked me up. She's like, I just have to put this out. I have to make these small jabs at the show because, again, how quickly they need to move the show along. It is pretty funny and comical at certain points when they just quickly go over something. You're like, wait a minute. Like when she's just swinging the sword a couple times. She's like, man, I haven't mastered this fucking thing yet. She just swing.
Well, even Maury's training where he was basically jogging. It's like, dude, aren't you getting prepared to like take on giant like monsters? Like, I feel like a light jog in the breeze is not really going to cut it here. Like, we got to step it up.
It's just funny.
What is training here? He's like, I'm going to kick the air, and it's like you need to be kicking like 15,000 pounds of fucking rock is what you need to kick.
For real. It gives me the Saitama One Punch Man vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where he's like,
except instead of 100 times, he's like, all right, let's call it a day. And you're like, I feel like one more round.
One more round.
Maybe.
That should just have me cracking up. But anyway, there's some funny shit in the show. But I think I'm very excited for where the show is going. I think it's going to be an upward trend from here. That's the hope. I've heard really good things about episode 10 in particular. Apparently, there's going to be like some 8. We're on episode 8.
No, we aren't. We're on 10.
That was 8. So
no, we're not.
In 2 more episodes,
is it
on
really?
episode 10. Yeah, we're on episode 8, dude.
Fuck, I labeled them all as 10 today. Fuck.
You fool.
That
So
was literal comedic gold.
anyway, episode 10. Apparently, there's going to be a sick fight there. And I'm really excited to see where the the story goes.
I kind of hope episode 9, because again, I liked this episode too. It was a really like great character exposition episode, but like I need to know about the world, man. I want to know what's going on. I need some like exposition lore dumpage. I don't even care if it's like some motherfucker sits in front of a screen the whole time and like just tells me what's up. I just gotta know, because I don't want to like get to episode 10 with the dope fight and it's like, wait a minute, what's that to do? Who's he doing? Wait, how did he? It's like I'm just so lost.
Yeah. But anyway,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, folks, those are our thoughts on today's episode. Make sure in the comments below you are letting us know what you thought of this episode and our discussion on it and your predictions for the future without any spoilers, obviously. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and sharing with your friends as well. If you're on YouTube, if you're listening to an audio only version of this, make sure you guys are throwing a follow on there. And if you didn't know that we have audio only, well, you do now. In Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, all your favorite podcast platforms. Definitely give us a listen on there. Hit us up on the socials. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, so you can follow and stay up to date with what is going on with the channel and our lives specifically. And if you haven't yet, you can take that support to the utmost level, which is Patreon. That's patreon.com/AoA show, where you can get exclusive tiers and show benefits that'll enhance the experience.
Mention the Discord.
Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you. Sorry. Also, we just finally added a Discord in the description, or at least one that's accessible to everyone, regardless if you're a Patreon or a patron or not. So you still have exclusive things by being a patron. So definitely look into that if you wanted to get more exclusive Discord benefits in the future. But if you just want to join the community, voice your opinion, hang out with the folks, definitely click that link in the description along with everything else down below. Thank you for pointing that out. But anyway, folks, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening. We will catch you on the flip. Peace.
Later.
Peace.